Hi, this is Libby.
And this is Roberta, and this is ArtBlog Radio. This morning we're talking with Hannah Price at her home studio in South Philadelphia. Hannah is the youngest artist included in the Philadelphia Museum of Art show Here and Now, which showcases 10 Philadelphia artists. She graduated in 2009 with a BFA in photography from Rochester Institute of Technology. Price's color photos of young people and her family showed the sitters usually alone. The works are less portrait-like than figure studies in which the stark interiors or street scenes are almost as much of the story as the person.
So the people who you photograph, are they all total strangers to you?
Yes, that's what I prefer.
How do you do that? How do you convince them?
They're responding to me first, and the next step is for me to respond to them with my camera. I don't really do anything, just people just react to me, I guess. Holler at me, catcall at me, and then I turn around and ask to take their photograph. Sometimes I ask, sometimes I don't ask, and
so the interactions are generated by their doing catcalls?
Yeah, that's the project I'm working on now. It's called City of Brotherly Love. It's fun and it's really hard. It's really frustrating mentally to prepare myself for that, or just know that it's going to happen. I mean, it happens every day. That's why I photograph it, because it's a new change, a part of my life. I haven't been used to it. Like,
it's a Philly thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a city thing, and I find myself avoiding certain streets at certain times because I know the same people are always on the same corner. For
sure. Have you ever done this at night? Because I'm sure the catcalls happen at night.
Yeah, they happen all the time, and I'm sure any woman can relate to this. No, I don't go at night. I'm very cautious. There's certain people that I avoid and that I don't feel comfortable with.
What can you tell us about these guys? Is there anything that characterizes them?
They're just men.
Darn.
And, well, most of them happen to be black men on the street, Hispanics. There's very few times where a white man has said something to me, and that actually throws me off even more when that happens sometimes.
Have you ever gotten a response from one of the men who you asked to take a photo of, and they said, "Oh, no way," or they?
They think I'm flirting with them. They think I'm interested, and I have to be pretty blunt with that and say, "No, I just want your photograph."
I have a fetish wall with photographs.
I don't want anyone to follow me home.
Totally. And do you give them your name or no?
Yeah, some of them we exchange phone numbers. Some of them I continue to photograph, and some of them I don't. And then some of them just happen to be really friendly and good people. Once they realize that, that we're different people and it's not going to happen, even if you say something and it makes me feel uncomfortable, because I'm making them feel uncomfortable with the camera. And then a lot of people, it's just like a 5-minute session, and I don't really see them ever again.
I remember that the first picture of yours that I saw was at PPAC, and the one I have in mind is the two girls in the hallway, I think they were in. Can you tell us a little about that project?
Yeah, that project is called Resemblance. I worked on that for about 2 years in undergrad at RIT. It's just about inner city high schools in Rochester. While I was growing up, I was the only black person in my school, and there's always stereotypes of like why I don't talk slang and why I don't like certain music. So I just wanted to walk around a high school that those stereotypes actually exist, and I just photographed the students.
Did you have to get permission for that?
Yes, that took me about 5 weeks to get. I had to go through the school district and then the principal, and I have releases for each student.
How did you select the students to photo?
The same thing. It was after school. I wasn't allowed during school. It was at the after-school activities. I would walk around the hallways, and while they're waiting for their parents, they have nothing to do, and I would just make photographs for whoever was comfortable with it. And that specific photo was Spirit Week, and it was Twin Day, and those two girls are best friends.
And they look so proud and angry, and I mean, they're just so full of spirit, I guess.
Even though these are portraits, I have a feeling that that they're photographing some kind of social phenomenon of some kind in both cases. Can you talk a little bit about that? Are you thinking, big thoughts, little thoughts? What are you thinking about?
Well, I am really interested in society and my culture and where I place myself. Most of my work has to do with my race and my gender.
Do you feel like there's a community of photographers in Philadelphia that you've tapped into in a certain way to be colleagues with? Or
Most definitely. The Philly Photo Art Center has definitely helped with that. I still have my friend from RIT that I moved in. She still lives in Philly. Her name is Katrina Dotrimo. She's another photographer. Me and a few of my friends, Steven Alvarez, he's another photographer. He went to U of Arts. We get together, help each other out, look at each other's work. We have 2 other photographers that meet with us, and we look at each other's work and encourage each other.
That's great. You have a little salon.
So yeah, it's almost like our little. It's you kind of have to make your own institution once you leave one, because once I graduated college and moved away, and then everything was just on my own. I was just out of the safe zone, and I feel like I need people to help me, to talk to, especially about my work.
And whose work influences you? Who do you look at?
A lot of people. Robert Frank, specifically, he's one of my favorites. Tina Barney. Helen Van Meen was my first favorite.
Remind us who she is. That name is so familiar.
She's a Dutch photographer. She photographed adolescent age, little kids, natural light, just straightforward portraits.
Anybody local?
There's a bunch of other photographers. I can always forget their names, just because there's so many. Locally, I don't really pay attention to contemporary photography too much. But a lot of my friends I do respect and appreciate, like Sarah Stolfa, Katrina Lotrimo, my other friend, Christopher Giannanzo. They are all a bit older and well more established than I am.
Can you explain a little bit more about why you don't look at contemporary photographers so much? You mentioned Robert Frank, so you like to look back?
I look at images in photography regularly, every day, through the internet and through different shows. Sometimes I go to Chelsea in New York. I know, sort of know what's going on, but I'm not too much involved in it, I guess. I don't pay attention to what everyone else is doing and their names, and I'm not on Facebook. I don't have a Twitter. There's very few blogs that I follow. I just find that everyone influences each other, so I don't want to fall into. It's kind of selfish, but I kind of need time for myself and my images and what. But I do look at. I have to look at photographs. I am influenced by what I see on the internet, what I'm attracted to. So I don't really pay attention to the names. I don't really follow. I guess I'm a weird person.
Well, it's very interesting you're not on Facebook or Twitter. I mean, you must be one in a million 25. There. Yes, at 25 years old. What else don't you do?
I was on Facebook in college. It's been over a year since I deleted my page.
You actually deleted it?
Yeah, it didn't interest me anymore. I just went to a wedding and a lot of friends that I went to college with, and they knew nothing about me besides what the last time we saw each other, and I loved that. They couldn't make any assumptions off of pictures of me on the internet. So I mean, it's not like I'm keeping anything from anyone. It's just I would rather personally tell them myself face to face.
You're an old-fashioned girl.
I enjoy talking to people. I love strangers, people interest me, and I'd rather share that experience than having nothing to talk about from seeing someone's Facebook page. So
Well, thank you so much, Hannah, for talking with us. We've been speaking with Hannah Price, young photographer in Philadelphia. Thank you.
Thank you.
ArtBlog Radio is brought to you by theartblog.org. Thanks to our sponsors, including the Knight Foundation.
Also, we want to thank Peter Crimmins, who makes us sound good. He's our editor. And thanks to Eric Biondo for his music. You can download these podcasts at theartblog.org/radio.